today's craft, you will need 2 popsicle sticks, 2 pieces of pipe cleaner, some markers, a paper plate, and a pair of scissors.
Hello, bonjour, and tanse everyone, and welcome back to another virtual Sunday school. My name is Pearl, and I'm so happy that you decided to join me here today. Today, we have another story about Jesus in Nazareth. Now, last week, we read a story about Jesus, and he went to Nazareth, and he went to the synagogue, which is like a church, and he read, and he talked about God, and the people loved it. They listened to him, and they thought Jesus is very wise. And today, we have another story about Jesus going to Nazareth, but this time, the people react a little bit differently. So let's jump into it and read that story. So Jesus had traveled back to Nazareth, the town where he lived as a child and a young man. On the Sabbath, he went to worship in a synagogue, just as he had always done. The people were happy to see Jesus. They asked him to read from the ancient book of Isaiah. After reading, Jesus sat down and began to talk and teach about living in God's way. For a moment, everything except the birds outside was silent. Then, the people began to whisper to one another. Jesus read very well. Wasn't that a good message to hear today? But the people did not like everything that Jesus was saying. Why are you upset? Jesus asked. When I go to other towns, the people welcome me. They want to learn how to live in God's way of love. The people grew angry. Don't talk to us like that. Remember the stories from long ago? Jesus said. Remember the people who have no food. Remember the people who are sick. God loves all people and wants us to show God's healing love. But the people shouted, "We don't know those people. Don't talk about them. Talk about us and how God loves us." The people did not want to hear stories about helping outsiders. They were so angry that they chased Jesus out of the synagogue. Jesus knew that sometimes people would not listen, but he would go on telling people about God's love and kept on showing God's healing love to all. It was time for Jesus to leave Nazareth for now and be on his way. Gosh, I liked that story a lot. It must have been hard for Jesus. He just wanted to tell people to love everyone. Some people don't like hearing that message, though. Some people want God to love them and not others. And sometimes people find it hard to love others. Why do you think that is? I guess that's one of life's mysteries, but we can work hard to love others. We can work hard to show God's love. Now today, we have a wonderful little craft, and it's kind of a joking way to poke fun at all the people who are very angry at Jesus. So let's go to the craft corner and see what we have for you today. Come on.
Welcome back to the craft table, everyone. I am so excited to have you here with me today because we are going to make kind of a cool little craft. And the first step is to take your paper plate and to draw a face. Now, the story we just read about Jesus and how he was talking to people, those people didn't really like what he was saying. And that happens a lot, I think, when you try and talk to people. Sometimes people don't like what you're saying, and sometimes they do like what you're saying, and sometimes maybe it's a little bit of both. So for today's craft, what we're going to be focusing on is facial expressions. So I'm going to kind of have a little bit of a blank canvas here. I'm not going to give the face too much detail because I want the facial expressions to come from the eyebrows, which is going to be our second step of this. So I'm just drawing on the back side of the plate a lovely little face, and you can draw a face on the back side of your plate. All right, so I have a little face on here, and the face isn't smiling and it isn't frowning, and it kind of is just blank, which is what we want. Although you can for sure draw your face smiling or frowning or whatever you'd like. Now, the next step of this involves cutting little slits just above the eyes, just around where the eyebrows would be. And you want those slits to be just a little bit wider than the width of your popsicle stick. So this is the width from this side to this side, and you want the slits above your eyes to be just a little bit wider than that. And it should look something like this. You have two little slits just above the eyes. And if you check to see, the popsicle sticks can go right down in those little slits, and they can wiggle around a little bit, which is exactly what we want. We want some wiggle room, but not yet. We're going to put our little face aside for now, and we're going to take out our pipe cleaners. Now we're going to wrap our pipe cleaners just around the end of our popsicle sticks. And you're going to do this once or twice, just whenever you think it's firmly on there. Maybe give it a little twist just to make sure everything stays in place. You could even add a dab of glue on one side if you'd like, whatever you decide. And with the rest of the pipe cleaner, you're going to make the shape of eyebrows, and they can be real squiggly eyebrows, or they can be really long eyebrows, or they can be kind of rounded. Whatever you want, you can make. So I'm doing some squiggly wiggly eyebrows just like that, and you can do whatever you'd like at home. And we're going to do this to both popsicle sticks. Okay, and once you're done that, you should have two kind of squiggly wiggly, almost caterpillar looking eyebrows. Or, again, whatever kind of eyebrows you wanted to make. And we're going to take those eyebrows and we are going to thread them through the holes we just made. And once they're on the face, you can kind of squish them or mush them however you want, just to make sure that they fit on the face. And now, using these behind the face, you can give your person some emotions. So they could be angry, or maybe a little bit sad, or they could be really surprised, or maybe they're a little bit grouchy. You can give your person whatever emotions you would like with your new little squiggly wiggly eyebrows. And you can even move them once they're on the face. So if you wanted to make them round and make the person kind of happy, you could do that too.
I am so happy that you joined me today. I had so much fun making our little craft with its wiggly eyebrows, and of course reading that story about Jesus and all of the people who are very angry at Jesus. I think I'm going to put this craft right up behind me, and you can keep yours in your bedroom to have fun and play with, or you can put it on the fridge to remind you of the story we read today. But until next week, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember, God loves you very much, and you should love yourself too. Bye-bye, everyone.